Hi, I'm Peter Cowan, the Bee Whisperer. We are back in one of my winter port yards right now, and we're going to check on, first of all, we're going to check on the progress of the colonies over here where we have 2 nukes with the communal honey collection area here. I think this was the second yard that we set up that way. We set some up after the others, so I can't remember which ones are the older, which ones are the newer. But we'll have a look, and what we should start finding is that the 2 brood chambers are now producing surplus bees, which are now starting to work and expand into the communal honey supers. So let's go over and have a look here. So if we just come down here for a moment. See that not all of these colonies are the same strength. This one looks a little bit less strong than this one. There's a little bit more activity here. Early in the morning yet, so the bees aren't particularly busy. Let's see how they've developed. We've got a brood chamber going on here and a brood chamber going on here. They're divided by a queen excluder here, so the bees can communally go into this honey super here. Now I know this was started later because it's got a honey super on instead of a deep super. As I say, we've got a little bit of activity directly above this hive, but more activity directly above this hive. So they're starting to move up here, and it doesn't really matter which one is providing the most bees, but right now it's this colony producing the bulk of the bees, so most of the honey is being stored above this brood chamber, but gradually the whole area will be getting filled up. Have a look at some of the others. Okay, the 2 are both contributing to the surplus up here. You can see the white comb here. If we get nice and close to that, the white comb is an indication that we've got a honey flow on, and the bees are busy building new wax, filling up this comb, and they're working on the combs on either side of it. There's a bit of a gap in between the 2, and we've got bees working on 3 to 4 frames here as well. So this honey super is starting to fill up. Communally, bees are working together, and that's exactly what we want to see. So this pair of colonies is probably a nice strong pair. But as we know, there's quite a bit of variation between what we put here, ranging from 3.5 frames of bees to a full 5 frames of bees in each nuke. Only just starting to get going here. Space them out a bit better. Just coming up above the left-hand nuke, not so much on the right-hand nuke, but as I say, they were only started last week. A little bit of time. Next week we'll see quite a difference. Left-hand nuke is contributing to the upstairs here at the moment, and the right-hand one only just getting going. But as we follow this as things progress, this summer we'll see these colonies produce more than their fair share of honey, considering that they're only nukes. Left-hand colony got 2 full seams of bees in here. This one's got 1 seam of bees in here. They're coming up through, working on it. Nothing spectacular to report yet. Could do with repositioning this lid anyway. little bit of activity on this side, not much on the other. These nukes are going less than a week. I think it was my other winter courtyard I started with it first. I'm pretty sure of it. Yeah, this one's on top of a top of a deep, as was that one, in fact. So most of those were mediums, but this is a deep on here. So see, we've got bees in the middle comb here, and this one, and that frame there. So they're building comb up here as well for me. Good. So I've opened up the first nuke that brought over here to set up a colony on its own. And in fact, we've got some laying workers. So it's a great opportunity to show you what a laying worker comb looks like. So first of all, with the sun shining on it, this is great because you can see you've got lots of drone brood all over the place. And it really ruins the comb because all of those cells get stretched out. If you come a bit closer here there, Jordan, I'm going to tip the frame, keep hold of it. I'm going to tip the frame, there we go. And if we can look inside some of these cells, you'll see that there are multiple eggs. And what's happened here is that the worker bees, probably quite a few worker bees, have decided that they, through desperation and through the lack of having a feedback pheromone from both the queen and from the larvae, they start to develop the ability to lay eggs. And we have multiple eggs in cells, but when a worker bee lays an egg, she can only lay an unfertilized egg. And as a result, we just have a colony full of drone larvae with no prospect of a new queen being raised. Problem with the laying workers, apart from the fact that it's doomed to die like this, is that if you try introducing a new queen into a hive of laying workers, you end up with the worker bees who think they're queen bees going back and killing that new queen you've introduced. So a colony with laying workers, there's only way I know that you can fix that successfully is you actually add these frames to a going concern. Now, the frames themselves are ruined because all of these cells that have drone larvae growing in them are getting stretched. And so these are permanently going to be drone cells. And so every time a new queen comes along in the future, and 2 years down the line, this same comb is going to look just the same because all of these stretch cells are now permanently drone cells. So it really does make a mess of your hive. So, but what you can do to save it is introduce a nuke from another hive, and a good strong nuke combined with a colony of laying workers will usually revive, and it's sort of enough pheromone in there to stop those laying workers from acting like laying workers, and they sort of recede. Of course, the laying workers are not going to live very long, they're going to die off. Look at all those multiple eggs. Hopefully we can see it in the video. We'll know when I do the editing. So we'll put it in here. Well, we'll put it in there, Jordan. And we'll put these in as well. But these will end up, see, all the combs are just the same. So this was a swarm. This was the colony that had swarmed. It was sitting in a tree, and evidently there wasn't a queen in the swarm. So we will allow those, we'll make use of those bees who can still generate honey and resources and pollen and that sort of thing. But what we actually need is a going concern, a queen who's going to produce some brood, some worker brood, that is. So what we'll do is put in one of those hives that would have become a double, and it's going to try and recover what we've got here. So we'll put these ones to the outside because they're going to end up as honey storage. The freestyle comb in there, exactly the same, all drone brood. So we will take a nuke, and this looks like a strong one because it's got so many bees coming in. And this should do the job. As long as we've got to move this over here. Heavy though. If it's heavy, that could be a sign that we've got a shortage, not as much brood in here as I want, just lots of honey. Okay, we've got brood, nice and healthy, young brood in here, all worker brood. If I see the queen, I'm going to make sure she goes in the middle, but I'm also going to spray some honeybee healthy here. Come to think of it, Jordan, why don't we grab the honeybee healthy stuff as well? I want to put a spray in here to mask the smells of the different colonies. Okay, let's spray that, and the original, and this hive as well. Let's spray that. So it's a mixture of water and honeybee healthy. So we're soon going to have a lot of healthy brood and young bees in here. This nuke is just about to explode in population. Queen cups, but no queen cells. Ideally, I'd see the queen and put her right in the middle, but it doesn't look like we're going to see the queen here. Some of these combs are pretty fat with honey as well. These here, so they're going to go here. So, the combs are a bit fat. We're not going to squish everything together. We'll just work on 9 frames there. Okay, so this nuke has now got queen. It should be a queen right colony within it, but laying workers on the outside. They're going to combine together, and hopefully we'll come back here in a week's time and we'll find that our queen is still laying. Anyway, other jobs to get on with. I'm Peter Cowan, the Bee Whisperer. See you next time.